Okay, good. No, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like Vapi, Valsad. Have you heard about this city? It's near to that.
Delhi?
Vapi,
Oh, Wafi, no.
Vapi.
So
If you
tell
heard
me,
of it.
so tell me, how many students do you have?
Not much because we still have a lockdown going on here. So we do not. I do not have much students, but still somewhere 10, 15 right now I am having. Some of like online too. I am taking online classes also. So right now managing with that part.
And how many students do you have?
Before
Oh, no, how many trainers do you have?
right now, like I just started, so I'm the only one. I do everything.
Okay. All right.
Thinking,
Well, nice.
I was thinking for expanding things and all, but all it's here lockdown going on. We do not have classes are like all closed. So I'm not thinking to like spend money there because it's no use. Since last year it's same position. So maybe after 6 months if things gets normal, I'll go with that, and may I'll hire some trainers too.
Yeah, and you's having a rough time of lockdown, aren't they?
Yes, yes. And again, like here majorly we get 12 students. After 12, many of them they plan foreign countries. But again, 12 exams are on hold. So again, that is the big problem happening here. The students, like very less numbers, not huge numbers.
No, well, let's hope that it builds up.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, how's everyone? Silly?
All good.
Ah, Siley?
You can call me anything you want. Don't worry. I'm
I,
great. Thank you.
I
All good.
just,
Working hard. 1 month left in school.
you know what I wanted to tell you?
Sure.
I saw your profile and you work for Sebas.
I do.
Yeah,
I
I
work
did too.
I work for a strange hybrid though. I actually work in a military school. There's 3 military schools that have partnerships with Sabas, and I'm in one of them.
So you teach all military men.
It's actually a high school. So I'm the head of the department for the school. It's quite a big school, 1,500 students. So in my department, I manage 18 teachers. But I specifically teach grade 12. So in our senior cycle, we teach our senior students in grades 11 and 12 IELTS. So they actually complete the IELTS exam.
Oh, so you're teaching IELTS.
I mean, there are other elements in the curriculum, but one of the key exams that they do is the IELTS exam, and they also do the English MSAT in grade 12.
Okay. And do you have some good successes?
To be honest, our students, they're Emirati, they're, as you know, second language learners, and they're not that motivated. Particularly in our school, it's quite unusual. I can't actually say too much because it's a military school,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're actually paid to go to school. They actually are salaried, and they get a lot of great opportunities in the school. For example, if they get very high scores, they can study medicine. They'll be paid, supported to do that or to become pilots. So there's always a small group that do very well, but to be frank, a lot of them are going to be in the 4.5 to 5.5 to 6 territory, and that's just the nature of what we're dealing with, I'm afraid.
Well, I hope they're doing something with these young people because, when I had to go to their homes and they only needed a four, depending on the
Mm-hmm.
uni, 4.55. There are so many of them doing nothing at home, and I was very sad for them. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, come on, government, you need to take care of these young ones. Yeah, they're at home playing the PlayStation, but put something in place. So maybe that's happened.
Well, I think it's just specific to our school because, as you know, the normal Sabbath schools, normal in inverted commas, are like more like international mix of students. So a lot of those students would speak English at home anyway, whereas ours is solely, it's more akin to the public school system, really. It's fully Emirati.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Good old Sabbath for getting that. You know, I just wanted to say I used to work for Sabbath.
Ah, okay. So you know the system very well then.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't like it at all. I
sure,
thought,
sure.
oh, you know, I didn't like all the exams, study
Yes.
exam. You know, it was, but I only did
Well,
it.
that's exactly right, Maria. Because as a head of department, I have 7 levels and 18 teachers, and some weeks we have like 3 exams for every level. I could have like 30 plus exams in a week, and we have just an enormous amount of pacing. And it's very most of the time this year I've been working till 11 o'clock at night, so it's not been an easy time. But I think everybody's somewhat similar, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, no. I didn't have as many teachers as you, but I had to train the teachers as well as the
Mhm.
principal and vice principal. That was my role.
Wow.
Teacher English. So anyway, so I'm an ex Sabbath, so great to
Wow.
meet
So
you.
you have the war wounds, yes?
Yeah. I only did 1 year and then I went to Attic. Attic was just starting the first
Ah,
year
okay.
of their reformation. So I couldn't wait to get
Interesting.
out of Sabbath.
Amazing.
Anyway, yeah. Uh Finny, do you actually look like that, Finny?
Hello, you guys. Hey,
Hi, hello.
give me a minute. I'll turn the camera on. Just give me a minute. How are you guys? I
Great.
guess
Good, good.
I guess
Thank you.
Nixon would have told you about me. Hello.
Yeah. What did you
Hello.
say?
Now, I'm hoping Nixon would have told you about me.
Nixon doesn't tell anyone about anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm from India. This place called Kerala. Nile is trainer here. And Nixon was telling me about this group, and he said it's going to be very beneficial. So yes, I thought I'd join.
Well, thank you. You're quite welcome. You know, the more the merrier. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's good. Hopefully Nixon shows up.
Yeah, he just messaged me. He is stuck with something. He's busy with something, and he said he'll join soon.
All right.
Nixon is always a busy man. He's always caught up with some work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys. So we had a great speaking time last week, Neha. That was really good.
Yeah, good. I felt I was like the whole night I was so troubled because I was quite nervous, to be honest. So by the end of the speaking exam, it was like I was blank. It was like I didn't know what I was speaking. It was just like, and now when I'm trying to recollect, I can't think of a single word I spoke. And I was laughing and I was sharing it with my husband. I'm like, I seriously don't know. He's like, yeah, you should see your recording and actually understand what happened. I said, I don't know.
Yeah, for definitely. I will search for that recording. We shouldn't be stopping every 40 minutes now because
Yeah.
I made it the long one,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I did the pro Zoom. I thought, no, can't keep having that happen. But anyway, I actually had a Saudi the other day get 9s, and they're speaking right across the board. What was it? So for the you know, the fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammar and accuracy, and pronunciation. Oh my God, I stopped writing halfway through. I was like, oh, why am I bothering to write? You know, this guy had it all. And he didn't tell me, but I would say that he has studied overseas in a university, the UK or US somewhere. He was just too good. Yeah.
Have you recorded that or something? Can we hear it? Is it possible?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, it would be great if we could listen to how he spoke. You know?
Yeah, I actually don't record it. My contractor does. I wonder if I could sneak it from
Just do that, right? It would be really helpful for all of us.
from my files and play it. No, you're
It would be
right. That
amazing.
would be a good one. And you
Yeah,
know,
it
you can always just put the video off, just listen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, no, that is a good idea. I will do that. Okay, so I thought like speaking is the easiest, really, you know. But Neha, you were very fluent and you spoke very well. The other one that people have seem to have issues with is the writing. Now, it's true though, writing is not that easy. And when you're writing at a university level, in a native speaker environment, then of course you have to come up to the mark, and it's not that easy. Now, I did say, like, I'll do it at a 7.5. I actually, I always tell my students, if you need a 7, we'll practice at an 8. So I always take it one up. So always go one up. If they need a 6, teach them at a band 7. Use the criteria that is a band 7. Don't use a band 6. The reason being, if they do drop a bit, they've dropped to the level they actually needed. So I've done it at a band 8. So, and it's really not too difficult if you study the task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and the grammatical range, and you put it into real terms in regard to your planning, it doesn't, you know, it makes the job a lot easier. Now, I know there are other ways of writing. Mahmoud Diwa, the other one that's part of our group, he uses the 3 paragraph. So actually it's 5. The intro, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, conclusion. You know, I just always go for the simplest. I don't like anything that might have a bit of complication in it. I reject it quickly. He could get good results with it, but I find that the task, the intro, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and the conclusion are enough to get a 7.5 or higher. Now, Neha, I sent you that topic.
Yes,
Have
you
played with it?
No, I haven't yet. I had some classes lined up since morning, so I did not get that opportunity to,
Okay.
actually
Well,
sit on that.
You know what? That is the first time. That's last month's 2021 writing topic. So it's an actual topic. So it's
Alright.
one of the latest. And when I found it, I just sent it to you without even analyzing or trying to figure. And then I thought we should do that topic.
Okay.
Okay. So that topic, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to do a Zoom where I learn how to use all the buttons. But at the moment, I don't. So I'm just going to speak. You'll need a pen and paper. And I'm going to give the same topic that I gave you, Neha, yesterday. And then I'll tell you how to break it down according to the criteria. All right, everything is the criteria. So if you write this topic down,
You
and
want
then-
me to, do you want me to share it? Maria, you can
yeah,
just,
yes,
I'll do that.
please.
Just a moment.
I
I'll share that.
forgot
Thank
you're
you.
clever.
Yeah, you could share it in the chat. I think that would be great.
I'll share it. If Maria gives me the permission, I can just share it on the screen so that everybody can see
Or you
it.
can just type it in the chat, whatever suits best.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
Okay, so here we go. So it's not my screen. Whose screen? It's your screen? Sorry.
No, but I think if Maria gives you the right, then it will be a concern for the recording. Last time this happened.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this
I
that
will
could
be
be a
back in a
problem.
moment. Okay, someone's coming back. All right, could you put it in the chat?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll just share it.
Yeah, so we'll go through this one, and I really wanted to see Neha's writing, but now we're going to do it.
Yes. I'm dead scared. Okay, I've shared it, but I think Finny will. I think he's not there in the group, so he will
Who?
remain. He will not.
Finny?
be able to-
You can share in this chat box, no? Zoom chat box.
You can share it here too on this chat box.
Yes,
as
yes.
Well.
That will
Okay,
be
I'll
easier.
copy and share it. One moment.
All right. Yeah. Do that.
Oh, you sent it to me. Neha,
I-
I already have it.
I sent it on the group.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
One
Yeah.
minute. I'll just copy everything and I will share it with all of you.
Yeah,
One
that would be convenient.
Oh, yeah, we've all got it on our phone. It's been sent to the global group. So, Finny, have you got it?
No, I think Neha is just sharing it on the chat box over here in this
Ah,
on Zoom.
that's okay. It's quite a lot because then you have to. I actually did the setup of how.
Maria, you can share the screen, right? Just right at the bottom, you have a
Do that.
green color,
In the
option
middle,
showing
middle.
share screen.
So it's in the chat, everyone. You can have a look.
Thank you, Neha. We see it now. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, I copy pasted it. I missed the T. It says topic, but on the chat it says opic. But it's a topic. I missed the T when I copy pasted it.
Maria, you can, if you see just right at the below, below your screen, at the bottom, you'll see a green color icon saying
Yeah.
share screen. If you click
Yeah.
on that, it will ask you, it will allow you to share from wherever you want. So, if you've stored it on your desktop, you can share it from there. You can click on that. We can see your screen.
Yeah, I didn't say. I saved it in my WhatsApp.
Oh, so with WhatsApp, download it, right? And save it to your desktop. Can you do that?
But I think everybody has it now, and whoever
It's
joins
okay
would
then.
have the chat will copy paste it anyways. Not
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, no.
analyze the
And
question.
you know what you send to the phone is very good as well because it's set out. Okay, so we'll start with that chat. All right, I don't need to look at that because I've got it on my phone or in my book. So it says, this is writing task 2. In the past, comma, shopping was a routine domestic task. Many people nowadays regard it as a hobby. To what extent do you think this is a positive trend? So the first step, and there are 5 of them, is to analyze the topic. You just do it to yourself. What is that telling me? So we can go around, each of you, and you can analyze that and give a feedback of what you think it's saying.
I'm not got the question.
Yeah?
I don't have the question with me.
Finny, the question is towards the end of the message that I've put in the chat. It's the last two lines is the question.
Oh, in the past. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yes, in the past, till, yeah, that's where the question starts.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I'll go with.
Okay.
So topic says that shopping was the essential thing in the past, like people used to do it to get the things, necessities, right? But now it has become a hobby, the free time activity, something like of the question says.
Okay, thank
Something?
you. Anyone else? We're all going to have a turn.
May I?
Yes.
I believe it's kind of speaking in terms of the change in shopping trend, and I believe it's more into rather than being an essential or necessity, it has kind of become a luxury. And I believe something like a shopping mall would add into it. So yeah, I believe it's kind of talking about the difference in the shopping trend.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is this comparison between what shopping was once upon a time, and what is it is in now, what is the current trend. So once upon a time, it was an activity that was done on a daily or a routinely basis, and now it's a leisure activity. And we are asked if, according to us, this shift from shopping being a a routine activity to a leisure activity, is this a positive trend as per our opinion or not?
And what do you think? Do you think, I'll ask you all, sorry. Do you think it's a positive trend?
So had I been in the actual examination, first I would have started to write my arguments for the positive trend and the negative trend. And depending on how many I have, I would have selected my answer. So if I have more arguments for negative, I'll go right with negative. And if I have more arguments for positive, I'll write with positive, because depends on the number of arguments I have.
Okay. What about you, Finny? Do you think this is a positive trend without even thinking how many answers you have?
Well, I think I would go for a negative. It's not a positive trend. I'd rather go for that. Reason being, consumerism and unwanted shopping, where in the past, as said, it's a comparison between the period of time. So in the past, when shopping was just for necessities, I believe, again, money was spent on the commodities needed, required, but now you have more options, and I guess it's a waste of money. So I would rather go into a positive, oh sorry, a negative side of it.
Okay, thank you. Namita, would you say it's a positive trend?
I'll go with like partial, both, negative, positive, both. Because it has
Okay.
negative sides too plus positive too. So I'll go with partial. Just a question, is it a agree disagree question? Like it is that one? Agree disagree one?
Is it what?
Is it agree disagree question time? Like you agree or you disagree? Is that
To
the
what
question?
extent, yeah, to what extent do you think it is a positive trend? So you may either say, well, I don't, I disagree, I don't think it's a positive trend, or you can say, I totally agree. Uh, the reason I tell my students don't go partial is because then that means they have to do two types of
Yes,
answers.
I understand.
So when we, I mean, you know, it might be a good thing, but we want to keep everything simple.
Yeah.
The simpler, the better. Yeah. Okay.
So, Maria, one question I had here. So even if we say, if we have a strong opinion, like I completely agree or totally agree or completely disagree or totally disagree, is it advisable for students also to give the other view why other people think that it's a negative trend, or should we go a complete positive or a negative trend, or would you score much either ways?
No, you should always have two different opinions. One is yours. You would say, well, I think it's a positive, you know, trend because, and then you give your reasons. Or you say, I don't believe, whichever way you take, but you've also got what other people say. So that next paragraph is on many people nowadays, they say this, but you say that. Whatever you say is to be, it is like agree or disagree. It's pretty much the same. So you're giving your opinion as to why you think it's great, but you're also being objective and giving why others think it's not great.
So you
Without
think
personally.
so you think we should answer it that way, where you are writing the first body paragraph with your opinion, and then you write another body paragraph on saying what other people would, why other people perceive this to be a positive trend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So firstly, now silly, Sile.
I officially make my name silly now. I like it better. I think we should continue. That's my new profile, right?
I'm so
Sheila,
sorry.
Sheila.
Oh, please. I like this notice. It's, believe me, if that's the worst I'm going to be called, I'm doing well, very well. I would probably argue in the negative, because I think if I was advising my students, I would be trying to have them identify topic specific vocabulary and phrases. And I think there's probably a richer bank of phrases that they will know for negative. So for example, the influence of advertising, you know, addictive behaviors, that sort of idea, people becoming loyal to brands, all of that sort of thing. And that it's this kind of lifestyle is getting away from you know, other values. So that would probably be how I would argue. On the positive side, if I had to make an argument, I'd probably say something like that, you know, in the past, yes, it was a very boring domestic task, but it's positive in the sense that it reflects an improvement in lifestyle.
Okay, well, thank you for that. All right, so we've quite analysed the question, haven't we? And that's what we do to start off with. And we get the students to analyse the question and they come up with what they think it's saying. Now, there's a reason we do that. It's to do with task achievement. So not just analysing for the sake of it. You know, task achievement says sufficiently. That's you again, isn't it, Sonia?
Soumya, just unmute yourself. I mean, mute yourself. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, so this analyzing is part of task achievement. Sufficiently addresses all parts of the task, presents a well-developed response to the question with relevant, extended, and supported ideas, and that's from a band 8. So Samir, just to catch you up, do you want to be a part of it? We've only just started.
Yeah, I actually checked the question that's there in the chat. So I saw the question, I just noted and I was reading that.
Okay, so the first step that I always use is to analyze the topic. So could you give me your own analyzation of it?
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, the question starts from in the past, right? In the
Yeah.
past, shopping was a routine domestic task. Many people nowadays regard it as a hobby. Okay, so analyzing question would be what's the topic and then what they are asking, right? So it's something like they are talking about the shopping. So shopping is our main topic over here. And then the statement that they said is that used it to be a routine domestic task. And now it's more of a hobby. So in past, it was domestic task. Right now, in present, it's a hobby. So what is your opinion? I mean, is that a positive trend or a negative trend? Won't that be the analyzation of the question?
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think it's a positive one or a negative one? Or do you just think it's positive?
Well, I do think that it's a positive one.
Okay.
I mean, there are so many reasons for shopping nowadays. It's not just the necessity. So when I write the points, if I support something as a hobby, I would have so many things to say. So in that sense, even if I take on a point, like take on a stand, I would actually take a stand where I can write more, or like I can have strong points which I can expand and say properly. So I would obviously take the one it says like it's more of a hobby.
All right. Yeah, thank you for that. So obviously, Samir, that's you, yeah? Obviously, there's been a shift, because back in the day or in the past, it was a routine domestic task. When I thought about this, I thought, yeah, every fortnight on the clock on the Friday, my mother would go and do the shopping, and she either took us or she didn't. Now it was to get the groceries, to get any clothes we needed. The only time we could go was because we needed shoes and we needed to fit them. But otherwise, that was routine. Exactly what it's saying. It was domesticated, it was routine, it was a task she did without fail. Now, back then, my mother didn't work. She was a full-time housewife. My father worked. So this was her job. She went shopping for anything, you could say. But nowadays, it's all changed. We now have two working parents. A lot of us, the mothers that used to be the stay-at-homes, are now working, and sometimes as much as the father. And this is because of economic situations where people can't get by with just one wage now. They need two working in order to pay the mortgage. All the prices have increased from back in the day. And so because of this, it's changed the whole concept of routinely doing the shopping. In fact, if we can fit it in now, wow, it's fun. Hey, let's go and do some shopping. I have time. You see, it's become like that. There is no regularity. I don't say, okay, we're going to go every Friday. It's just like, oh, let's go. I feel like going out. I feel like an outing. and we need some milk and sugar, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of become like that. The other thing is that it's not as regular because we've got so many takeaways, so many fast foods. Busy mothers equal takeaways. Whereas back in the day, everything we had was cooked. So it has become in a sense, a hobby. If we look at hobby, what's another word for hobby?
Pleasure.
Yeah, recreation, activity. I feel like that when I go even to get my groceries because I get to look around. Do I know anyone? Oh, what's new on the shelf? You know, like this, because you don't go like you normally would go. Instead, maybe just go to the Bacala or you ring them and they deliver it to your door. I mean, everything is so changed. So is this a positive trend? What would I would probably say it, well, if you look at the facts, it's not a positive trend. It's a result of so many things changing from the past, and the past was security. So I would say, is it a positive trend? To an extent, because I like outings. And because I work now so full time, when the children were little, I was always home. I routinely did my shopping. Now they're back, I just like work, like all of you. So I suppose it's a positive trend because it gives me an outlet, as it probably gives you, when you have to do it on a day off. Let's go shopping. That's what you say, isn't it? So yeah, so it's quite
So
good.
it's like a stress buster for all of us who are like day in, day out working. And yeah, it has its disadvantages and its negatives as well. But I feel we all need that much more now because of the, you know, the pressure to earn, to live. The lifespan has become lesser now. So everybody wants to earn and then retire, and because you don't know what's going to happen in life, so they're like, let's earn and then retire later on. So I think, yeah, I agree with you, Maria, to some extent.
Yeah, everyone, it's good what everyone has said. Devinda, are you here?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, ma'am. I'm very good. How are you?
Yes, well, I'm very good as well.
Very good, very good. And sorry that I lapsed some of the sessions earlier, like last week and the week before
Devinda,
the last one.
you're not allowed
Yeah.
to apologize.
Sorry, ma'am.
You're not allowed to apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. You know, we got to keep life simple. If you can't make it, you can't make it. It's so.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Because I have been taking classes like from 8 to 9:30 batch, and for that reason actually. And today I was free. My student was enjoying her weekend, so I got the opportunity to join this session.
That's great. Devinda,
Yeah.
quickly, have you had time to look at the chat?
In the WhatsApp.
Yeah, well, WhatsApp or on the chat here, can you see the task? Do you want to be a part of the very first part of analyzing the topic?
Okay, I'll try. Sure.
Okay, you've got 30 seconds.
There was there was a PDF in the WhatsApp chat as well.
Yeah.
I need to see that task or the
Ravinder,
other
I've
one.
posted the same question on Zoom chat also, so you can have a look there or WhatsApp, whatever is convenient to you.
All right, all right. Mm. So in the past, shopping was a routine domestic task. Okay. many people nowadays regard it as a hobby. Nowadays, or there is a contrast between the times. To what extent do you? All right, okay. Right, okay. So, I would, I think, partially agree with the task. I think
What is it telling you, Devinda?
so. It is actually basically the contrast between the shopping routine in the past and in the like current times these days. That in the past, people used to shop, I think, because as they want to buy things that are in need. I think that what they need for the domestic task. And but nowadays it has become a hobby. For example, if they have free time, then they like to wander and they like to explore the markets. So the question is, uh, uh, before answering the question, is it a positive trend or negative trend? And for that, to what extent I have agreed, or I can say, is a positive trend or a negative trend? But according to me, I think uh, I'd say that I'm mostly disagree with the task. I think I can say mostly it is a negative trend.
Okay, so you think it's a trend, mostly,
Yes,
uh,
man, mostly.
because why?
Uh, because if we like connect shopping with the consumerism, if we connect shopping with consumerism, as people are buying stuff sometimes needlessly, just under the influence of their friends, the celebrities, only just the influence under these people, not realizing what they actually need, or sometimes they are just driven doing shopping just because there are discounts on the products. They have been looking for the same for quite a long time. So consumerism indirectly has, for example, it's another factors which we can say hidden like devastating things for environment. Like I have read somewhere that to produce 1 cup of coffee, for example, if someone buys some bottles of Nescafe, like it is also, we can put an example here.
All
To make a
right.
product, to make a product, uh, the sometimes the cost we think that is very less is actually less, but in the background, in the background, uh, a lot of the portion of environment has been like devastated just to make that product. For these kind of reasons,
Devinda,
yes, ma'am.
okay, it was only analyzing the topic and to what extent do you think it's a positive? So you're saying it's a positive. So because of what? Commercialism?
I I,
Anyway,
I said that I am mostly believe that it is a negative trend.
okay. All right. So we're only at step one, Devinda. We're going to step two, okay? Now, you probably missed it, but this is the way I do it for students to get a 7.5. Everyone is different. Some may have 3, some may say partially, some may say I partially agree or disagree. I tell my students, don't go there, keep it clean, keep it simple, just focus on one side and then of course do the other side. And it's all about making it easy for them. I mean, we can give a good, essay using partially, but I think our best shot is to give them what is the easiest solution. Now we're doing number 1 was analyze. Number 2, underline the key words. Now the reason you underline the key words, this is to do with lexical resource. Number 1, analyzing, was to do with task achievement. Number 2, underline the key words, okay? And we're working at a lexical resource band 8. Now, what key words would you all underline?
Routine, domestic task, positive trend, hobby.
Shopping.
Shopping,
past
yes.
shopping, the past shopping, and nowadays hobby and positive trend, routine, domestic task. Yeah, I think these are the ones.
All right. So if we started from the left and went right, we would say in the past. Now we need in the past because we need to use more than that phrase when we're writing. So of course we're going to make synonym lists. This is our synonym list. So we've got in the past, we've got shopping, we've got routine, which is a huge key because it's talking about routine. Now there's no longer the routine. So routine, domestic task, many people, always do the quantity. If it's some, then we need to do the quantity of some, like a number of others, a percentage of. We can't use an actual quantity name because there is none that fits some. So we have to go into saying a number of. There's no quantity there, but it fits into some. So now we're at many. So you're going to say, you're going to have many people because as you're writing, you're going to use that word many, but in the way of synonyms. So many people, nowadays, hobby, and positive trend. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, this is your synonym list. You're going to add 3 synonyms to that list. For example, in the past, you're going to say previously. So when you do write a sentence using in the past, you're not going to use in the past. You're going to say previously or back in the day. Okay, or that's 2. Need 1 more. And so that's one of the synonyms. Those are some of the synonyms you're going to use for in the past. And so when you're writing, the examiner is going to see a myriad of vocabulary words because you've got this great big synonym list and you're writing without repeating the actual topic. Now, if you want a higher score, paraphrase all of it. I know some trainers say, well, I paraphrase some. Okay, then some is the score you're going to get. If you want more, paraphrase all of it. So we've got in the past, shopping. What is a synonym for shopping? Or what are some synonyms for shopping?
Purchasing.
Yeah, purchasing.
Buying.
Buying.
Also say.
Okay.
Can we use shop? Just shop like
Yeah.
used to?
You can have shopped, shopping, shop. They're all different. Yeah. All right. So the next one is routine. What are some synonyms for routine?
Day to day.
Regular.
What did you say?
Day to day.
Day to day. Okay. Yeah.
What about daily basis? Like daily
Yeah. You
basis.
can have daily basis. You can have day to day. You can have
Something regular.
regular.
That was
Yeah.
already said.
Regularly. Regularly. Consistent. Consistency. Okay, so this is good because you're going to have a great essay using a whole a wide variety of vocabularies. Okay, domestic task. What are synonyms for domestic tasks?
Household. Household things. Household food.
Common household?
Yeah, what was that? Sorry?
Common household tasks.
Common
Common
house.
household.
Chores,
Okay.
Homely task.
Chores, yeah. What was the other one? Someone said chores, jobs,
Is it,
housework.
can we say homely tasks?
Homely tasks. Yeah, what did you say? Something tasks? Oh,
errands,
never mind. So we've got 3 there. Then we're going to the next one, which is a majority of. So you've got many people. One of them is a majority of because majority equals many. What's another one?
Most.
Huh?
Most. M-O-S-T.
Yeah, most. Good. Yeah.
Numerous.
Nudist,
A
lot,
large
Numerous.
number of. Okay.
large. A something number of. Who said that?
A large number of people.
Yeah. Very good. Excellent. Most, yeah. And nowadays?
These days.
These days, yep.
In current times.
Yeah.
So in
At present.
in today's
Sorry, Samir?
At present. At present.
At present, to date. Very good.
Currently.
in
Current.
today's age.
Yeah. All right, great. And hobby?
Leisure activities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Leisure activities. In our free time.
or
Free
pastime.
time
Yeah.
activities.
Pastime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recreational activities. You mentioned that before.
Yeah. Well, very good. So you see, and you know what? As you start doing more, teaching your students more of these topics, you're going to remember the synonyms. It's going to become so much faster. Now, when I teach them, it takes them about 8 minutes to finish the whole plan. And I tell them they need to do the same plan in the exam. And they say, oh no, but it's but as we practice, they get faster. It goes down to 5 or 4 minutes. So when they're actually in the exam, 40 minutes, 4 minutes of it is in the plan. So when they do all this, and when we finish to the number 5, you'll see how easy it is, because then they can just write. They're not worrying about what do I think. All right, so we've got this synonym. Oh, positive trend.
We can say positives. Some of the positives.
Yeah.
Positive development.
Mhm.
Yeah. Attributes. Also attributes.
What did you say?
Attributes, positive attributes, merits.
Pros, I mean, like how we say pros and cons. Can we say that?
Can we say beneficial? Beneficial.
Can we say what, Devinda? Oh, merit. Okay, merit.
Beneficial.
See that, Vinny.
Beneficial.
Oh, I missed that.
Beneficial. He's saying beneficial.
Beneficial.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, all right. Progressive. You know,
Progressive, yep.
all right. So you guys, if you've been writing it, you should have like 10. How many words? Oh, current shift. So you would have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, at least 21. Now that is question number 2. Okay, analyze 1. Number 2, underline. Number 3 is paraphrase the topic. You're paraphrasing using all those words that you've just created. Don't leave any word untouched. Don't leave nowadays untouched or any word. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to paraphrase the topic using the words that you've created.
All right.
If anyone's finished, they can read me their paraphrased introduction.
I'm done.
Okay, great.
Yeah, me
Should I
too.
read it?
Yes, please.
Back in the day, buying items such as groceries and clothes, etc., were done on day-to-day basis. However, most people these days take it as a leisure activity.
Okay, great.
Mine is very similar. Previously, buying items was household work carried out on a daily basis. These days, numerous people consider it to be a recreational activity.
Right.
Mine is very simple actually. It's just two lines only. I can say it's just a paraphrasing, or I can say journal line. Yeah. So I better begin, which is shopping now an activity pursued as a pastime was a day-to-day errand in the past.
Okay. All right. And I've read yours, Finny, and everyone's been able to read Finny and the meters, yeah?
Yes.
And the back time to shop was a regular activity for household purposes. Most of the people in present time think it is more as leisure. All right.
I wrote back in the day, purchasing was a regular chore. However, these days, a large number of people consider it as a leisure activity.
Okay.
I wrote that as well. I mean, I have sent that in the chat, but even then I'll just speak. Purchasing things was more of a consistent task in olden days. However, a majority of people consider that as a leisure time activity at present.
Okay. So, someone can educate me. Is olden a word? Oh, back in the olden days. In the olden days. Okay, I get it. Back in the olden days. All right. Well, thank you,
The
guys.
article. I did understand that. I just missed the article. Okay.
Ah, yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So that is number 3, and that becomes the topic, the intro. So you paraphrase number 3, and the number 3 becomes the intro. Now we've got number 4. Number 4. Oh, that was number 4. So number 1, analyze. Number 2, underline the keywords. Number 3, synonym list. Number 4, paraphrase the topic. Number 5 is to plan your 2 paragraphs. So you've got P1 and P2. Now, depending on which way you agree, you'll have P1 will be what you choose. So, for example, if I said, well, I think it's a great idea, my P1 will be based on what I think. And then my P2 will be on what others think. Okay, so it's really simple in that you have P1 and it's only bullet points because you're not writing a lot of sentences. Like, for example, you might have P1. Now, the first sentence for the paragraph is a simple sentence. It's an overview of what you're going to write for the next 3 sentences. So you have paragraph 1. Sentence 1 is a simple sentence, an overview. Sentence 2 is an idea with supported information. Number 3 is again the same. And number 4, sentence 4, so there's only 4 sentences, is a percentage in a country. I think you remember me saying that it helps to, at the end of it, to sum it up using a country research or study. So for those that say it's a positive, let's just see if I wrote the first sentence. Maybe I didn't. So
Maria, I have something regarding the introduction before we move ahead. If we could, I don't know, do you want to discuss it now or maybe later, whatever suits you?
discuss what?
Regarding the introduction, I have a couple of points to check with you and add
Okay.
because
Yeah, me too. A few
Yeah.
questions on the intro.
So whatever I have been, like the last time I discussed, the introduction to me now is incomplete because there are three things that are supposed to be in the intro. One is the opening, a general statement. And so we start with a general statement. It could be something for this question related to shopping. For example, our shopping habits in the recent past have changed a lot, or just an example. And then we will come up with the, like, add the sentence that we just discussed, the paraphrased one. And we would end the introduction with our opinion, where we take a stand that tells the examiner what is the examiner supposed to expect in our essay.
Okay.
So that's the third.
Okay.
So that's the third thing. So these three things, as per my understanding, has to be in the introduction.
No, it doesn't. When you make a statement like you believe it or you don't, you agree or you disagree, it can either be at the bottom of the statement, which is the intro, or you can leave a line and write it there. So it's just on its own. So there is no rule as per se. Okay. The second one, you can do what you say, where you write like an overview of what you're going to say in the first sentence. Again, that's by choice. You can do that, or you can just say, like, for example, back in the day, it was notable that domesticated mothers regularly bought their household goods. Okay, and now, I mean, I don't know what it is. And now we see that in this current time, it's no longer the focus, and in fact, it has become something of a leisure activity to a majority of others. So you can just get straight into it. You can do your overview, or you don't have to. The overview comes in, you need to do it for sentence one, because whatever you say for sentence one has to cover sentence 2 and 3. All right. So as I said, there are other ways of doing it, but you know, you can add your you agree or not at the bottom or on its own. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. You know what? It's whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, whether you put it at the end, whether you write that overview. I like the less work I have to do, the better. If I can get the same mark without having to think of an overview, I will teach my students that. You know, I'm kind of, I'm lackadaisical, if you know what that means. I'm a bit lazy.
No, I get your point. This was based on my experience. Whatever I shared was based on my experience. This is what I wrote. This is what I've been telling my students. So my personal experience has been this. And when I see my like some of the students who had come to me, the major concern that I see was in the structure, and they were missing things like what I've just said. And once they added it to their essays, they got a better score in writing. So it was what I shared was my personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So you like them to add it into the actual intro. Uh,
Yes.
on the other hand, I prefer to just leave a line and there it is what they believe, leave a line and
Okay.
then start. So
Okay.
yeah.
So that's
All
also
right.
an approach that we could. Yeah. Okay.
Just for the clarity, I mean, like what Maria said, I was trying to understand that does she mean the I mean, like the thesis statement where we say, where we state our stand is not necessary. Is that what you meant, Maria?
No, you can, like what Neha does, she puts her stand in her introduction, okay, and that's fine. Either or. I put mine on its own. I get them just to leave it on its own, and there's a line, and then it says, I totally agree with this, like that. So, I don't know, to me, it's just like clearer because I like to see like things, like I can read
Okay,
it.
so the line in the sense after introduction, just a separate line, like a separate para itself. And then we come to the paragraph one, is what you meant?
Yeah, so whether you have the intro with what you agree on, it's fine. Then you leave a line and then you will have your P1. But you're not going to say P1, but it's your paragraph.
Mm.
And you're not going to itemize each sentence because it's got a flow. But you already know because you've planned it. All right. So, for example, we've done that intro. We'll leave a space, or you add it on, and then we'll go to P1 and P2. Now, the first thing is to plan it. So, P1, do most of you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
So,
Who's
I think that's how it's taught here also.
sorry?
That's how it's taught in the part in the institution I teach it. That's the same thing, and they call it thesis. So they add the opinion of what's going to happen in the introduction.
Yeah, you can. Either or is right. We don't want to get so fixated with we have to do it this way. It's best to be flexible. If it works for you, do it. If it works for someone else, that's great, doing it a different way.
Here I have something to ask. For example, we have just paraphrased the question without thesis, and whether we are agreed or not, can we add it also in the conclusion?
You can. I mean, again, that's a choice, but it
Yeah,
has to be at the beginning. When the examiner reads, he has to know
yeah.
what you believe. Now, some people do add it. It's not like they lose
Oh,
any marks if they do, and they don't lose marks if they don't. Because in the end, the conclusion is simply a mini version of your introduction.
oh,
Okay,
yep.
and you can add it or you don't have to. Okay, so now we'll say we disagree. So what would be your P1, paragraph 1, 2, and 3 sentences? We'll highlight what the first sentence will be, remembering that it's an overview. It's a simple sentence. So who might want to, well, all of you, hopefully, come up with a simple sentence into the first paragraph. And you do it with the second as well. The second paragraph, you need an overview, which shows, because I tell you why, when the examiner reads your first sentence, he knows exactly what you're writing about for sentence 2 and 3. Okay? And then when he reads your second paragraph, and he knows that's the simple sentence, he knows exactly what's coming up in the next two sentences. Sentence 2, 3. Sentence 4 is just a percentage, so it's neither here nor there, but it just backs up what you've said.
Maria, I have a question here. Like I sometimes I tell my students that your viewpoint, right? Suppose I disagree to it. That part should come in your second body paragraph because it connects well with your conclusion when you conclude it with your opinion. So does that make sense? Or as you said that you should put your viewpoint, your agreement, whatever is your opinion in the body one. So how would you do you say that that
Well,
option is?
again, it comes back to what the examiner is going to read. And in your either your intro at the end of it or a space and just on its own, you might say, I disagree with this. They are expecting to see your disagreement, not the agreements of other people, your ones. So it needs for you to write about it. And then you'd say, on the other hand, there are a number of others that believe something. So yeah.
I'd just like to add something here. So there are different approaches for this type of essay. As Maria said, the first paragraph, we would say why we agree or disagree, for example. The second that she meant, what I've understood when you said you can write about someone's opinion and why people disagree, for example, is in a way to negate, like to prove your point by negating the other argument, but
Well,
not like a discussion.
what do you mean by someone else's opinion? Can you tell me that again?
No, in the second body paragraph, you said we can write someone else's point of view, but the main idea is to negate that idea with our opinion.
No. If you disagree, the first paragraph is all the reasons why you disagree. The
Okay.
second one, on the other hand, there are a number of others that believe blah, blah, blah. Now they do it because, and you give reasons why they think like that, and you give 2 or 3 reasons.
Okay.
For example, we might say you don't agree with the trend, how shopping has become a leisure time rather than a domesticated actual shopping adventure, whatever. So on the second hand, on the second one, you're going to give equally very good reasons why they think the opposite. It's all about being objective. You're showing the examiner why you don't agree, but then you're showing him why a majority of others would think contrary to what you, yeah.
Maria, in my personal experience on this has been because the question doesn't ask about anybody's else point of view, and it just says to what extent do you think is a positive or negative trend. So either we say that I, in my opinion, if for example in the introduction or as a thesis statement, if we write I agree that it is a positive as well as a negative trend, then we can write one paragraph on why is it positive and the other on why is it negative. Or if we say if it's a positive trend, then I have been writing it as 2 paragraphs as positive or 2 paragraphs as negative. So this is what I have been doing without
Okay.
anybody else's opinion in this type of question.
It actually states.
I actually did the same.
It actually states it. It says, if I can look at the question, it actually states it. It's not, you're not just grabbing an opinion from here or there. It's actually in the topic. It says, many people regard it as a hobby. So do you agree or disagree? I agree or I disagree. However, there are a majority of others and they are the many people. Now, you'll find that all IELTS topics, when it's agree, disagree, when it's you're giving another like one and another, contrary, there's a number. It says a few, some, many. So don't look past that. All right. So there's you disagreeing, and then there's many that regard it as a hobby. You have to say, I disagree with it, but you also have to talk about the many that regard it as a hobby and the reasons why. All right. So you have got your two differences.
I have a
How are you
question.
going to talk about the many? When were you going to discuss about the that think of it as a hobby?
So I don't know my opinion about the whole question. It's an opinion based question. So two body paragraph goes in as either agree or disagree or partially agree or partially disagree. And the only time we write about somebody's opinion is in an argumentative essay where they say explicitly discuss both views and give your opinion, because this question, though it has this word many, but it doesn't so the way I look at it is in the past shopping was a routine domestic task. That's a statement, but a lot of people nowadays consider it as a hobby. So what is it is there are no two contradictory statements in the present. It was something that how it used to be, and now a lot of people look at it as a hobby. So it's only a statement in the present. So either I could completely agree, completely disagree, or partially agree or partially disagree, because there are no two contradictory opinions where I have to say why many people consider it as a hobby or why they don't, because this is how I understand it. As I don't see any contradictory statements in the question, until then, I do not take up the other person's view. For example, if the question had been, many people now regard it as some people now regard it as a hobby. However, others think it's an addiction. Just an example. If that would have been in the question, then I would have taken both the views. But as this is what is my opinion on the question.
All right. Well, that's all right. That can be your opinion. It's fine.
Okay. So I wanted to know your, because I understood your point, and I would also like to know what others are doing just to understand it better.
Yeah.
Can I
Okay.
say something? So this is something that I do. Uh, I do take the opposite or the other side. I do discuss about it, but in a way that I am kind of refuting to their point. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is something that I would do. So I would discuss about a point from the other side. Like on the other hand, so a group of people or some people believe that, and I'll say something from the other end, and then I would refute it right there. So even though
Right.
I've included their side, I kind of am supporting my argument by refuting to the view.
Yeah.
So this is how I do it normally.
Okay. Okay, but that the idea is to prove your point again by refuting an argument, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you include the other person's point of view. Okay.
I do.
Okay. Thank you.
So what I do is when I see students who cannot go for a partial view, who cannot have arguments from both the sides, their language is not that strong, So for them, I tell them that it's better you go for 100% agreement, like a strong opinion, as you are talking, Neha. So both the paragraphs on agreement. So they build up only on one side, and they have two strong points to prove their opinion. But students who have a better language and they have the critical thinking ability, and they can think on both the sides, both the perspectives, I give them the two options. One is the refuting one, which Finny is talking about, where they can write one statement and then they can negate that statement. And second option that I give them is to go for the one which Maria was discussing, that give your opinion, support your argument, and then give again another paragraph where you're talking about why other people think that this could be a positive trend, and then give the reasons. So being subjective, like, yes, I can think from other perspective also. However, I disagree to this
Okay.
statement. So I work according to the
Okay.
language level of my students. That's what I do.
Okay, but I have a small question. But if you say that I disagree, then why? I'm just trying to understand. Why would in this type of question would we give somebody's else point of view? Is what I want to understand. Or
See,
is
what
there
you
is
are
there is there something that I'm not able to, or I've been not doing it correctly? Is that why I'm trying to check?
Even when I was doing things, like, unless there's a discussion essay, I won't really write the other part. Like, for if it's agree disagree, as Maria said, like, just to get most points, I would actually say do not go for the partial thing if you're not good at language. Instead, just
Right.
stick on to one side. Like, if it's just agree for you, and if you have more points for agree, obviously write 2 paragraph which is going to be just for the agree. And as she
Right.
said, like, the main idea and something inside that paragraph should be those with the supporting ideas. So it's like
Correct.
just one idea in one paragraph. That means you just have to develop 2 ideas. So I never wrote the other side as well. Like, if it was discussion, I did do that. But for this one,
Okay.
even I didn't ever wrote the other side. Or if someone has got a good language, yes, like, but that again, after 2 paragraph, the third paragraph I actually kept for the, like, other hand, on the other hand. So it's like 3 body paragraph only if in case the candidate has good language.
Okay.
This was what I did, almost similar to what you said.
Okay. Thank you. Maria, we can't hear you. You're on mute. Is he talking? Okay.
I think she's talking to somebody else.
Hey, I'm back now.
I thought you were talking to us and your mic, it was on mute.
All right. So,
Okay.
yeah, I agree with you. Like, don't do partial unless you have eloquent writers. Just don't do it. Like, there's no need to. It's not going to bring them any more points than if they just chose one side. It will
Right.
not do anything for them. So, keep everything simple. Now, each to their own in this. Whenever there's a number, it's always one paragraph, the second paragraph with that country, without taking any opinions from anywhere but those ones that do. Now, the first paragraph is about what happened back in the day, what it was like, 3 different sentences, sentence 1, 2, and 3, with the simple sentence first, and then sentence 2 and 3, and with a 4. And then the second one was, on the other hand, times have changed because the majority of others now consider such domesticated bliss as just a leisure time. It's lost its whole concept, and we can say it's because of sign of the times. It's because two parents are working. It's because it's the takeaways that now service the children. So there's nothing to say those 2 paragraphs are going to be wrong. So if you can do it that way, or you want to do it with 2 positive sides, is that right, Neha?
No, I've got your perspective also. So this is why I was discussing, because I never thought about it this way. So this is also one way that we could take it up.
All right. So we're going to, so we'll just go with this way for now, and like learn this way. It's so funny because I had someone, what was his name? Oh, I forgot his name. He was Indian. And I had taught him these same ways. When he had his exam, he was beside himself and he's like, Maria, you're right, because da da da, and I don't think I do that. And I don't think I do that. And I said, it's okay, it's fine. And he was really beside himself. When he got his mark, he got a 7.5, you know, and so as long as the main thing is task achievement, well, not main, but it's one of them, and always be sure that you're passing the, you're crossing off the T's with the task achievement. But just quickly, there's one other thing I do. I teach my students the criteria. Now, when they write, I say to them, okay, give yourself a band. They do it according to the criteria, and they can say, oh, I just got a 6. Oh, I got a 5. You know, and this is what is the ultimate in training students, that they are able to, they're not reliant on you to a point like a baby. They can give their own score and know, oh man, I need to do this and this and this. But anyway, let's get to, we haven't even written a paragraph yet. So we'll get to the first simple sentence. You disagree, so what would it be? What would be the overall for sentence 1, paragraph 1?
Okay, I wrote something. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
People do not plan their shoppers list and end up buying unnecessary items.
Where does it say that in the topic?
I actually thought that when you're writing the paragraph first, the reason when we are saying disagree, we're actually writing the first reason for why do we disagree. Isn't that? Like when they take things as hobby, they're not seriously doing those stuff.
No, one thing you can't do is assume. You can't put in information that isn't there. I mean, like what you said, can you say it again, Samir?
I just meant that they do not plan their shoppers list and end up buying unnecessary items.
All right, and this is your overview, and your sentence 2 and 3 are going to explain and give information as to why you said it, supportive evidence, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I thought like when I say this, it's a negative thing, right? When you're taking something as a hobby, you're just not taking it seriously and just buy things randomly. I mean, you go to a place and you just buy things randomly. So when it was a routine task, you had to proper planning for it. But now since it's not a routine task and it's just a leisure time activity, you end up buying things that you don't need. So even, I mean, just mess up your budget.
All right. Anyone else?
So on what Soumya said, I have 2 points from these. Either we could take the main point as taking shopping as a hobby is people end up over consuming when they shop as a hobby, or it's a dent on the pocket. So we could either take up one of these ideas. So if we talk about overconsume, then we can bring in what Soumya said as a next statement, that when we go and shop as a hobby or on a regular basis, we end up buying things we do not need. And at the end of the day, we end up consuming things that we never thought we needed. So the idea of overconsumption, that we can say, because we're doing it as a hobby these days. That could be one idea, or the other could be a lot of spending a lot of money.
All right. So you're equating a hobby to overconsumption and spending a lot of money.
Yes, especially especially shopping. Yes, because if you go shopping every time you are free, then you will definitely end up buying things and over consuming and spending a lot of money. So yes.
Anyone else who thinks the same, that having a hobby is like, I mean, I love going out now to a shop because it's not a regular thing, but I consider it a leisure, which equals hobby, but not where I'm overspending or overconsumption. Actually don't equate the two to be, in my circumstance, to be equal. What would someone else say?
I think doing shopping as a hobby for for majority people are, I think, more unhappy because actually they buy things when they do shopping as hobby, but not necessarily. They do this activity under the influence of somebody, for example, celebrities, but they are not actually buying for their needs. And even after using those products, like not for the long term, just for the short term, click selfies with them. Like, for example, I'm using some informal language, sorry. So I think it like makes people unhappy. For that reason, I think that it is a negative development.
All right, anyone else? Sheila?
Um,
Oh, Davinda?
I have explained my point, ma'am.
Oh, sorry.
No
Uh,
problem.
sorry. Sheila? Okay, has everyone said um, what they wanted to say? So can you just write your the sentence that you've come up with, your overview sentence, your simple sentence. Can you write that down? So Nia, have you finished your overview for sentence one?
Still writing.
Ah, oh, Anyone finished? Devinda, did you give your simple sentence number one, sentence one? Did you give it?
Yes, ma'am, I had given.
Can you read it again?
For the body paragraph.
This is for P1.
Yeah,
sentence
P1, all right.
one.
So,
Sentence
yes, as the main point of my paragraph one was people. So, what I have written is, one of the reasons that majority of the people are unhappy is because doing shopping as a hobby.
Okay, so you can carry on and do sentence 2 and sentence 3 and 4 as bullet points. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Everyone, if they finished their main one. Have you all
I
finished your sentence?
finished. Yeah.
Yeah, can you read it?
Yeah, so I wrote, to begin with, buying products as a leisure activity is a negative trend because we end up over consuming when we shop frequently.
Can you repeat it, Neha?
Yes. So I said, to begin with, buying products as a leisure activity is a negative trend because we end up over consuming when we shop frequently.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
I wrote something. I mean, the same line I've just polished a bit. Uh, people often people often avoid planning their shopping list and end up buying many items that are completely unnecessary.
All right. So your sentence 2 and 3 is going to be a continuation of that, yeah? That's your overview. All right. Anyone else?
Do you mind asking what would be your opinion on this? Like, if we make statements like this, do you have another opinion on that? Or what would
Yeah,
have been your line?
I don't want to be a corrector because I think like needs to be a freedom of you guys speaking. So like I would, if I was doing you again, Samir. If I was doing an overview and I chose the agree one, my simple sentence would say, the purchasing of supplies was a regular practice in households. Okay, now keeping it simple means not having compound words or complex words. It's just making a broad statement. And then, of course, it was a regular practice in households, talking about back in the day. I would have to say previously, the purchasing of supplies was a regular practice in households. And then the second sentence would be, what did I write? That back in the day, it was notably the mother that frequented the supermarkets or shops on a scheduled basis to buy groceries or clothes for the children. All right, so that's sentence the second sentence, but it's coming from the number one sentence. And then I would give evidence of supporting evidence. I would say the main reason was that the mother was a stay-at-home wife whilst the father worked outside the home. So this is why all of that happened. And then the third sentence, I would say, is that still about it? The roles of the two parents were conservatively outworked, because it's conservative. Back in the day, it was a very conservative society. So the roles of the two parents were conservatively outworked, which meant it was very unusual to see a father or male taking care of the needs in the home in a domesticated fashion. So those are my three sentences pertaining to this is with the agreement of that, because I'm going to say, on the other hand, for what it is now. Now, the fourth one I used was in China, for instance. According to research, approximately 99% of men have never been inside a department store or supermarket to buy anything. That is considered below the male's role to do that. So this is all talking about back in the day, explaining it step by step and using China with the research and picking on the men as the backup for the support. Then I would talk about what it's like now. And I'd say, on the other hand, living in the 21st century has seen a virtual role switch in most households because of the female having to work as well. And a number of, or a large majority of the population are now so used to that type of scenario, because they've never experienced the past, that they think it's actually normal to go out and shop and look at it as a hobby. So this is doing the contrary one. Did I use three? The other sentence backing that up, it is said that women are working full-time jobs similar to their husbands. Therefore, the supply of necessities such as food and the normal needs of our houses have been shoved to the back. Meaning put in file 13. Therefore, shopping has become an outing, a leisure drive, a fun-filled activity for everyone to partake of. So that is looking at the two paragraphs contrary to each other. And then, of course, I'd make up a country. The US, a study taken in the US has shown that no one goes out to supermarkets, malls on a scheduled basis. It's just looked on as a leisure trip for the whole family. So you might say 80% of Americans do that, just to support what I've said. And that's it.
Maria, I have one question here. while I was understanding about IELTS, I heard in a lot of videos, I don't know how authentic they were, but from authentic sources like E2 IELTS and a lot of them, um, they said that you should end your paragraph with a concluding sentence and never with an example. How true does that hold? Is it like you are marked on that, or is it just a vague uh, thing to talk?
No, I mean, if you end up with sentence four for both sides, use it for both sides and use one for research and study. And what it does is it encompasses everything you've said. Now, that is very acceptable with examiners, and no one has ever got a low score from doing that. Yeah, because everything is about supportive evidence, and unfortunately, you do have to make it up because you don't know any.
Correct. So it's not necessary to have a general statement. We can just say according to a research or according to statistics or whatever in this country.
Yeah.
We can say that, right? And we can fake a percentage as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you should teach your students to add that at the end of each of those paragraphs, according to research taken in 2020. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because they don't care. Well, they do care how you write, but as long as it's covering the task achievement, the coherence and cohesion, and the vocabulary and the grammatical range and accuracy, it's fine. And if you remember, I said with writing, 12 mistakes is a band 7. All right. And
12 mistakes, sorry to cut you, Maria. 12 mistakes overall in grammar, spellings, everything, or only grammar you're talking about?
Overall. Overall in your writing, it's a band 7. So, for example, if students get a band 8, then they've got like 6 mistakes only, 5 or 6. So, and it includes not using a comma in the right place. I mean, it's everything. And if you remember me saying, grammatical range and accuracy writing is identical to the speaking. It covers the same 2 points, error-free sentences and the complex structure. And you only need 3 types of complex structures when you're writing.
So if you write error-free sentences and you give 3 complex sentences in your writing, we can score a band 7 in GRA, right?
Yeah, because they're all independent, yeah. So
Yeah.
each one is worth 25%. So if you get 12 errors in grammar and accuracy, then you just need to do the math on the calculator, because I can never do it from my head. And you could work out what 12 errors times 25%, what your actual band, oh, well, you already know it's a 7. Then you would do it with, well, I don't know if you could do it with the others, unless you think you already know you have a wide range of vocabulary. And don't forget to use uncommon lexical resource. I mean, don't use idioms, but do use uncommon lexical resource. Yeah.
Maria, if you could share one of your corrected essays and what band score you gave them, that would be a great help. That this is the sample that you have corrected.
I actually did a Saudi one yesterday.
Can you please share it on the group? You can
Maria,
share
can
it
I
on
be
the
helpful?
on what's if you could share it on WhatsApp and we could have a look at it, you know, that how you've scored and
Oh,
what band score you have given them. That is
okay. Now I gave her a 6, and I tell you what, they're never happy with it.
yeah.
What can you do? You know, yeah, that unfortunately. So I will. I can do that. I mean, it's not my job to do it for her because I'm the speaking examiner. But they always like, oh, can you do this? She may not ask me.
I am taking a leave, everyone. So I'll watch the rest of the recording for whatever I
Sure.
miss. Thank you so much, Maria.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank
Thanks, everyone.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Neha.
Good night,
Thanks,
Neha.
Maria.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You're welcome. Sheila, you've been very quiet.
Yes, sorry, I had to change location because I had an appointment. So I'm just in the car now with somebody. So sorry about that.
Okay, so what have you written your overview?
For paragraph, the first body paragraph, right? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry, because while I was coming out in the elevator, I missed what you were saying. So maybe I'm going to contradict all your advice. Apologies. So I said, sorry. I said like this, firstly, from my perspective, the development of shopping into a leisure activity is not a positive trend, as people have become too focused on the perceived happiness that consumer goods can bring, and they spend too much money.
That's great.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have you done any more?
Afraid not. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. Well, I read my whole part out. Has anyone else? Neha, you've been very quiet. Have you done yours? And Namita?
No, actually, I haven't. I haven't done it.
Same, I have written same like yours, like I'll just send you on chat. Like it's somewhere similar. I feel it's similar.
All right. Oh, it's similar. Okay, good. So I've sent it to the WhatsApp, to the group. It's okay because you won't know her. I have not, because I'm not teaching her the writing, one of the biggest things, apart from her grammar, was that she just used one example, which isn't that great. I mean, you can't get away with one example. Okay, so anyone else? You know what? It'll be great if you can write it and send it. How's that?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Definitely. I would like to have a feedback. I'm actually, honestly, I'm telling you that writing is my weakest out of all the four skills, you know, and it's quite challenging for me. So that is why I wanted a lot of assistance, and you know, it's really helping me a lot. Like how you explained all the things, I can now change the way I'm teaching, and improve on my skills as well in writing. So I think it's going to be a good, fruitful knowledge session today. That was great, really.
Agree.
Thank you, Neha. I think the main thing is to keep it simple. You know,
Yeah.
don't get caught on complex ways of doing things. Just because students deserve to be taught a simple way, and yet they can still get a high band with that simplicity.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had many students actually. Um, to them, actually, I sometimes like scolded them on them. Sometimes because of their handwriting and because of them not completing their tasks, but they actually ended up with having six bands, like achieving their targets, only just because they wrote simple sentences, little bit of complexity, not repeating words, and
Yeah.
they got what they did. And the main part, what I actually teach is that, according to my experience, is that memorizing like the lines which are memorized actually like don't help.
What don't help? Sorry, Davinda.
He said memorizing phrases
No,
doesn't
no,
help. Yeah,
no. Never ever do that.
yeah.
That is fake. And I tell you what, a trainer, an examiner can spot a memorized.
Phrase,
Uh,
yeah, right.
yeah, no, never ever do that.
Actually,
Yeah.
currently I'm working on two students, and when they, before I took them, I heard their recording bit, to understand what's their language level and all. So I found them quite decent. But now while they are writing, they're making a lot of grammatical errors. So it's like a huge challenge for me. They would be around at band 4.5 to 5, and to bring them to a level, they're all looking to go to Canada. So general training, they require a higher band score, as you know. So for them to achieve a 6.5 and 7 is like a huge this thing
Yeah,
on my
task
head.
is.
Yeah, it's like a task for grammar.
Yeah.
So complex sentences, compound sentences, I'm going extremely crazy, training them
And
in grammar.
Maria, I have a question actually, because since majority of students are actually unwilling to practice by themselves, they want to be dependent on teacher, yeah, it is actually to some extent, but what to do with those students who actually are just like being dependent on the teacher rather than being practicing by themselves? How do you deal with those kind of students? If you obviously you get these kind of students as well who are unwilling to practice.
Wow. Maybe I only had one. Maybe I only had one. And
Oh, great, then great.
he
Seriously.
only, he only needed a 4.5. And
Oh,
Yeah.
so, it's really, really not a hard task to get them a 4.5
fine.
because
Yeah.
Mm.
you're not filling their mind with a lot of things. You're only teaching them you are teaching them, like you were saying, about the sentence writing, like the compound and complex words. And then you're teaching them some vocabulary, but you know that they can't take too much. So
Yeah.
I don't give too much,
Yeah.
and so, that would probably be it. But she did get her 4.5 she needed. I was like, oh, yay. But it was draining. I only had one of hers, and one like her, but it's absolutely draining,
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's like they
Yeah.
suck the air out of you. But that's because that's how they are. They lack confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not sure. So I think a lot of encouragement by saying, you're doing well, keep going, well done. That could
Okay.
possibly, because you know what, Davinda, you never know their home
Yeah.
life. And I always think of that when I have a student in front of me that really needs a lot of encouragement. I give it
Yeah.
because I don't know what they're getting in their home. So
Hmm.
that's it in a nutshell, really.
And Maria,
Yeah.
one more question that I had was students learn how to write their introduction. Conclusion is also easy. Where they struggle is to write their body paragraph, where they have to give an explanation to a reason and all those things. It's quite difficult and challenging for them to do that. You know, think about an idea, think about a reason to support it. So any tip, anything that you could suggest, or which we could inform students so that they can, you know, write their body paragraph a little easily rather than struggling.
Well, like if you just keep to the two main body, one is for, one is against. They find that very easy, really easy. What is the other one? So you've got agree, disagree. So I always teach them that. So do you agree with this or not? No or yes. So you tell them the first one is going to be about you agree. Now tell me, why do you agree? What are some reasons? So you do a bit of brainstorming with them where they can come to their own conclusions, and you'll just bullet point it. And then when they write, it's simple writing, you know, and you might have on the side a few compound words and a few complex words, and they see it, and you say, now try to add one of these into your sentence. Try to join it up. You've got two closed sentences. Choose a complex word and put it in between. So, you know, you do it like kindergarten, really. But they're not kindergarten, but you're making it as easy as you can
Right.
for them to understand.
Yeah.
You know, in the I taught the children. Well, they teach it in the UAE. They probably did it with you, Silent, Sheila, where they teach the children fanboys and a white bus.
White bus.
You know that, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very easy when the children know it. It's very easy to say to them, okay, write me a fanboy sentence. So they know they've got 7 to choose from because there's only 7 compound words in the entire English language. So they might say, I went to the shop for an ice cream. Very good. Now you've taught them a white bus. Now a white add a white bus, what you think, to that sentence. So they might have, I went to the shop for an ice cream, and then they look down the complex list, and then they might say, however, it was closed. Voila, they've created their own sentences that are very good. But it's no point just telling them they got to see it, you know, like choose. I even say it to the adult students, choose. Yeah, choose the complex word, choose the compound word, create sentences. So have that as an exercise for them to get used to writing.
Right.
I have a question actually, like it was since long time. We were, underlining the keywords and writing synonyms for like shopping, domestic tasks and all. So whatever words we got, the 3 words, so can we keep repeating that word? It will not hamper the lexical resource anywhere, or we again need more words for that, more different words.
You said the word shopping.
Yeah, shopping. So, like for example, we use purchasing or buying. So, if that word keep repeating, so it is
No,
okay.
you should try to have 3 at least. Purchase,
Okay.
buying, obtain. You know, you can have obtain.
Mhm.
We went to obtain some blah blah blah. Like you can, yeah. But
So that
you can get
that's
away.
the. Mm-hmm.
You can
No,
get
but
away with 2
mm,
vocabulary the same. So you can get away with 2, but no more than 2. In other
so that
words, if you've used up purchase, buy, obtaining, receiving,
mm,
we received, or we are there, and you're using shopping, okay, if you have no choice, use it a second time, but don't use it more than that, because it tells the examiner you don't know a lot of vocabulary.
okay.
Yeah.
But like some words, like if you say sports, there are not number of words that you can use instead of sports. So what do you use as a sports synonym? Because
Games,
I was
games, physical activities. What else is it? Sports, games, physical activities, physical. You know what you should do? You should always, with your students, when you're making a synonym list, get them to find it on the dictionary online or whatever, and they will get so used to it. So like, for example, if the synonym is computer, well, they can say PC, technology, internet, and by the next time it comes around, they just know them, you know. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question, Amita?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
That so I really had a great session. So
same here.
it has also like directed me that I'm on right track. It corrected many things that I'm following with my students. That has like proved that I'm doing the right thing the way you have explained. Actually, I am also using the same way with the students. So it has like encouraged me and boost my confidence as well that I'm doing the similar with the students. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and you know what? When it comes to grammar, something
Yes, ma'am.
as simple as them not knowing the articles, it's worth
Yeah,
teaching them. If you find out that they don't know how to use the right article, you should teach them. You know,
sure.
yeah, those little things are just as important for their writing, so they're not making errors.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
all
Right.
right.
So
Thank you. Thank you,
thank
Maria.
you.
Thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you,
a wonderful
everyone.
session.
Thank you very,
Seriously.
very much.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye, Sheila. Bye, Devinder. Bye,
Thank
Bye,
you,
Navneeta.
Bye,
everyone.
ma'am. All right, all right. Thank
Namita.
you, and thank you everybody for the lovely questions,
Sheila.
knowledgeable questions.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
again.
All
Bye.
Thank
right,
Good
you.
night.
Have a
take
good,
care.
yeah, take care. All
You're
Be
right.
safe.
If anyone wants a recording, I'll just send it to the group, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, do that.
yes. Maria, check the last speaking one also. I would really like to have
Yeah, I have missed it, so I need it.
I will. Well,
Sure.
you know, Nafisa,
Do
you can be the next one for the speaking exam. Would
Oh
you
my
like
God.
maybe Devinda?
Yeah.
me? I
Don't
don't
stop.
know if I could.
Oh,
Uh,
you can.
uh,
Don't think that way. It's going to be really good. It'll be fun.
Well, think about
yeah,
it for 2 weeks.
I don't know. Actually, as I told you earlier, that I got the chance today by chance. Like my student was absent, basically. So I will try my best, like, to convince my student for the next week.
All right. Now tell me, would you guys like another writing? Because I never
Yeah.
think one is enough. With another topic, you know the
Task.
one, that topic, oh, what do you call it? Solutions, something in solutions, causes and solutions. You
Yeah,
know,
we
Yep.
could do that. We
Problems.
could do one more.
yeah,
Yeah, problems and
solutions,
solutions.
yeah, or causes and something. Yeah, okay, we'll do that because I think you never be short of getting used to
Writing.
writing.
Yeah, yeah. And I think even you can also do it, or even Neha can do it, because you had told Neha to prepare something, right, for writing.
Yeah, and you can fill in that outline and send it to me, okay?
Yeah, I'll do that. No, I was talking about, you remember you had told Neha she was going to do the next session of her writing. How does she teach her students? Neha, that other Neha.
Yeah. Yeah, well, next, not this time, maybe not this time,
Okay.
because I really want it uncomplicated. I want
Okay.
it simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all
So
right.
yeah, we can do it. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, guys.
Okay,
Have a good
Maria.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Go
Take
to
care, everybody.
See you soon.
Be
You all
safe.
too. Bye.
sleep.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.